All right, it's another day. It's another episode of Your Daily Scrum with professional Scrum trainers, Ryan Ripley and Todd Miller. I'm Ryan, that's Todd. Todd, you're still coming to us live from, well, this will be recorded, but from scrum.org headquarters, the home of Scrum.
Home of Scrum. Yep, I'm here, Ryan.
Very nice. We have a topic. Of course, hit us up in the community.agilefreemans.com. Read the description. We have a Scrum Master course. We put out a free Scrum Master Framework 101 course. Run through the playlist. It's for free on YouTube. Go take your PSM I, get certified, get that first job, go do those awesome things. Check it out on the YouTube channel. We think you'll love it. Todd, you love it.
I love it.
He loves it. Today's question.
To be honest with you, I kind of wish that was there for like 10 years ago, Todd. So
yes.
Hopefully people were finding that really valuable. That's why we made it.
Maybe we'll do a separate episode about it. I think we should talk about why we did it. But this episode, Todd, we got an email from a listener. They asked a really good question. So yes, your questions do turn into episodes. What happens when the Scrum Master goes on vacation? What do you think, bud?
I think that if things don't continue on as business as usual, that the Scrum Master has failed to fulfill their accountability.
That's where you're going with this?
I think that a Scrum Master, if they go on vacation or they can't go on vacation without being bothered all the time, that they have created a dependency between themselves and the team that is unnecessary. Developers self-manage around how to build. The product owner should be able to do and fulfill their accountability fine. I honestly feel like a Scrum Master should have worked with the team well enough that the team understands and executes Scrum well enough that they're able to go on vacation. That's where I'm going.
So I fully agree with you, right? So this is
I know. I was wondering if I said it controversial. Your response was like,
everyone got all like hushed, like, oh my gosh, it's like video.
They're fighting on YouTube.
No, they won't. No, I totally agree. I think this is an opportunity to see how the team will do without the Scrum Master's oversight. Quite honestly, there were days where I would still be in town, but I would just skip certain events to see how they would go. Has Scrum really taken root with the team? Do they understand the why behind the events? Do they understand the value that each thing that they're doing really brings? Do they understand that need to still self-organize even in the absence of a Scrum Master and get to a done increment by the end of a sprint? I think all that stuff is so super important that when the Scrum Master goes on vacation, it should not look that much different. Now, some impediments might pile up. There might be a few things organizationally that need to be addressed when the Scrum Master gets back, but fundamentally the team should still be able to function. Now that raises another good question, Todd. Well, if the team can function fine without the Scrum Master for 2 weeks, why not forever? Right? And so I think the answer to that, when the Scrum Master goes on vacation, it's a temporal thing, right? It's a week or two. In the US, it's 3 days, but it's a week or two. So it could be as long as a sprint. We're not talking about multiple sprints. We still think that the world is dynamic. It's complex. Things change. People come and go. The markets shift. We still need that person working with the teams, working with the product owner, working with the organization. Coaching is a long-term endeavor. Training is a long-term endeavor. There's still plenty to do. But if the absence of a person for a 2 week, 1 week, whatever the block is, sends everything on its side, I think Todd's absolutely right. The Scrum Master has not fulfilled their accountability to teach, to train, and to uphold Scrum even in their absence.
Yeah, and you're making a really good point. If it's a longer term thing, if it's not just vacation, perhaps it's, a longer term, several month kind of deal. The accountability needs to then be fulfilled by someone. You've got options, right? You can explore within the team or outside of the team, but the accountability needs to be fulfilled if it's a longer term thing. The on vacation thing is, to me, what triggered like vacation, at least the US. It's a really short term thing, and that team should be able to stand on their own. If you're talking months or a permanent thing, that Scrum Master accountability needs to be fulfilled because organizational impediments will slip. And even that upholding Scrum, sometimes during tough times, we might decide to sacrifice something, and the Scrum Master would step in and say, hey, definition of done, or we really need a retrospective. And they're kind of kind of upholding Scrum in that regard. So
Todd, let me give a non-Scrum example here real quick, and then we'll wrap this one up. So there's there's 4 of us guys who get together 3 times a week, and we do CrossFit in one of our buddies' garages, right? And so right now he's on a missions trip. He's actually in South Africa right now. He's doing the Lord's work and doing some great stuff. In the interim, the other 2 guys are meeting at my garage, and my wife and I are still putting together workouts, and we're still getting our heart rate up. Is it as good? No. The guy that's currently in the mission field, he does a great job of keeping us motivated. He keeps us together. He keeps really good programming. We've kept him on the text chain. We're still like, hey, we're still at it, and he's still encouraging us, but he's off doing something different. We're still keeping the practice. We know it's important to keep meeting. If you slack off a week of working out, you lose that, and then it's hard to start back again. But it's temporary for me to step in and host and to lead this. We need this person back in order to really get the full effect. It's to get the most value and benefit and joy out of it. And so it's okay temporarily. If I had to do this long-term, this would fall apart. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think the same can be said from a Scrum Master's perspective, right? And that's longer term. As you kind of painted the picture, this is a short-term thing. You're patching it together. You're making it work. Longer term, need it, right?
Yeah, in the example I gave, is form slipping a little bit? Yeah, so we got to be extra attentive. Is the programming a little easier than what perhaps our friend would have programmed? Maybe a smidge. Are there fewer burpees at play? Yes. But when he gets back, things will get back to a great level. But for now, we're doing all right. Cool. Yeah. End screen time. All right, be sure to like and subscribe. We're almost to 10,000. As soon as 10,000 hits, we got to open the merch store. So we're almost there. Check out the socials. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter are lit. There's a lot of stuff going on. Check it out. You can probably even goad me into an argument if you really poke hard enough. Some videos are going to pop up. The algorithm thinks you'll like them. We do too. We definitely want you all to check out the Scrum Master, the 101 course that can get you ready for your PSM 1. Go nail that. Get through those 20 videos. Work through the Scrum Guide, think about the framework, and go get that certification. Make that the barrier has been dropped to almost 0. Get in there and do it. We believe in you. Go forward, do some great Scrum things, level up, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you.